the hell's the dark side? Well, it's pretty simple. And also my hair looks stupid, and because of the current situation that we are in, I can't do anything about that.
When I was a small boy, I had no money. I would pick up every diamond quarter I saw laying around until I had enough to buy some soda at the convenience store. Mother told me to just drink water, but there is not a single person on this planet who unironically enjoys drinking water. It's a facade. It's useless. Nobody needs water. I didn't want to keep making money by mowing lawns or shoveling driveways every now and then. It was too unorthodox, and it was never reliable. So in May of last year, I did it. I was able to break free from the depths of unemployment to the true American national anthem. I won't lie, when I got my job, I was unnecessarily excited. I hear most people hate being employed because now they have to toil inside a building, flipping burgers or stocking shelves or whatever. I was happy that I could finally buy stuff whenever I felt like it. I don't care how many McChickens I gotta make. I don't care how many spilled drinks I gotta mop up. I don't care how many white people decide to place orders like this and eat 5% of it. Point is, I'm making money.
You hear that, Denhan brothers? Louis? Jerry? I have a job. I make money. Fuck you.
The thing is, I don't have any real expenses, so when I got my job, I just ended up buying a bunch of shit that I wanted, and every so often I make a purchase that I end up regretting, which thankfully never happens. Except for this baby. I didn't have any plans to buy this. I went to Fan Expo 2019 with my buddies, bought some games, found this for $100, and I had around $100, so I told myself, it's a sword. Why would I ever pass on that?
This is probably the dumbest purchase I've ever made, and you know, that's not saying a whole lot. I like to think of myself as someone who's wise when it comes to spending my own money. However, there's nothing wrong with this. It's all natural. It's all fine and dandy.
In my defense, I only had 3 of these as a kid. This black one given to me long ago by my mom's friend's son, this Smash 4 one I got for Christmas of 2014, and this Wave Bird I got from Amazon. Everything else, that was all bought last year and earlier this year. It's not like I have these controllers just for the sake of having these controllers. I bought this orange one for $50 because I've always fallen in love with the orange controller ever since I laid eyes on it. I have this indigo and clear one I bought at Fan Expo last year. Only reason I bought this one was because I thought these controllers were super rare. It turns out, not really, but it was only $30, so it wasn't a complete waste. But I was taken back by how good the controller really was. This is my favorite controller for Melee at the moment. Tight as hell sticks, triggers that feel sexy, and it's one of the only controllers that allow me to get consistent upbeat cancels with Dr. Mario. I love this baby so much. This one's pretty special in the sense that it was given to me at school by my accounting teacher. This controller ended up being pretty good. It got me out of Winners Round 1 for the first time in Ultimate, and that's something worth holding close to my heart. This baby served me well. For 2 months. Analog stick issues, face button issues, it's seen better days.
All these controllers fluctuate in terms of condition. However, they all function. Except for this bad boy. Let me tell you about the story of this thing.
My orange controller had this issue where the rubber in the stick had lost all of its texture, so I had to get a replacement. I could have just gone on eBay and bought some replacements, but these are terrible sticks. It's like putting Play-Doh as an analog stick. I went to a pawn shop one day to look at shit, and I found this blue GameCube controller in rough condition. It had tears in the wires that people tried to fix with electrical tape, the face buttons were unresponsive, and the C-stick was pretty roughed up. However, the analog stick was fucking money. And the best part was that it was only $10. I snatched that bad boy up and got to work. After the grueling operation, blood all over the place, tears were shed, family members questioning if the surgery would be a success or not, the medical bills unreasonably high. Finally, my tried and true Spice Orange GameCube controller was back in action. On the other hand, now I had this awkward as hell controller with unresponsive parts, a busted cord, and god-awful analog sticks. Fast forward to December, I finally bought a GameCube for my setup, despite having a Wii, but whatever. My GameCube came with an official black controller. I wanted to do some cleaning with the thing when I found out everything inside was really stiff. I tried taking the analog stick off of the stick box, but the white part of the stick box came clean off. Not only that, it got stuck inside the analog stick, so I couldn't even use that one as a spare. The point was, everything else about that controller was fine, but the motherboard was screwed, and I need to find a new one. No. No! Realistically, I probably could have just ordered a new stick box and replaced the old one, then found a new analog stick, but I've already treated this controller like shit, so why don't I do it again? What's stopping me from doing so? I swapped the motherboards and now I had this black controller that functioned much better than the blue one, but had a blue plug at the end. Fortunately, homeboy Jerry bought himself a JP White controller from eBay, and was willing to give me his black motherboard once his white controller came in the mail. Once it did, I swapped the motherboards with each other. You see that? Even when Jerry has no job, he's still willing to let me have his motherboard. It doesn't happen often. But when the time is right, Jerry is a true man. I did one more swap with my buddy Ryan's quote-unquote trash controller at the request of Jerry, which is where the motherboard currently resides. About 3 weeks ago, my buddy Zach let me swap the analog sticks in the Smash Ultimate controller so I can use it for my new black controller. Now, my black controller was in well-working condition. As for this thing, well, it's been through a ton. It's been separated from all its parts, meaning I can't even put it back together. Maybe someday the garbage controller will see its triumphant return, if someone is willing to give me all the parts I need.
Because I don't care about this controller. It could be burned and skewered and pissed on for all I care. Screw this thing. Jesus. Yes, as you can see, I have a lot of GameCube controllers. But I can explain.
I bought my first PS2 for 30 bones back in 2017. I know it sounds dumb that I bought it for so cheap, but in my defense, back then, only reason I wanted a PS2 was for DDR. And this was before I got employed, so I tried to find the cheapest price possible. This baby wasn't too bad, but for whatever reason, it took an ungodly amount of time just to load a disc. And sometimes, it refused to read the disc altogether. I didn't have many problems with this PS2, until I figured out it couldn't read PS1 games. It just tells me they're invalid. So I picked up a PS1, which worked like money. Thankfully the PS1 and 2 both use the same video cables and power cables, so switching them out between each other isn't too hard. But I don't want to do that. It doesn't make it any less annoying that I have to switch out the whole ass console just to play PS1. Sometime later, I got the idea to look in the dumpster of a video game store. Don't ask me why. I have motives in this world that you do not need to question. Everything has a reason for it. Just don't worry about it. But I looked in the dumpster and there was stuff inside the dumpster. And do you want to know what was inside the dumpster?
I should probably stop doing that. They might break.
They all worked. Somehow. Couldn't tell you why they're in the dumpster, but look, it's free shit. This PS2 worked like Jesus, played PS2 and 1 and loaded discs much faster. Only minor issue was the stupid fucking disc tray that never works. I have to screw around with the damn thing like it's silly putty, and when it finally works it stops working. At this point, I had 3 different PlayStations, and they all had their problems, so I took my chances. I went back to the same store where I bought my original PS2. They still had them in stock for $30. So, I decided to test the dreaded Mistress of Fate. I bought this PS2 without knowing what would happen. There could be a plethora of issues. Can't read discs, fluctuating load times, malfunctions, a combination of the 3 problems I just addressed. I got home, plugged in the new unit in place of the old one. I placed a disc in the tray, watched it load. And it worked. It loaded as fast as I wanted to, played both PS2 and 1. It was a dream come true. It had all the best parts of my original PS2, and the one I found in the dumpster. This was the perfect PS2. It's shit! No clue as to why, but it's very picky when it comes to my PS1 games. My PS2 Slim could read every PS1 game I threw at it. This PS2 can't read Tekken 3, can't read Metal Gear Solid, can't read Final Fantasy 6, Chrono Trigger, King of Fighters 99, or Namco Museum 3, but it thinks my Namco Museum 1 and Street Fighter Collection are both audio CDs, and it thinks my perfectly legal copies of Street Fighter Alpha 2 and Crash Bandicoot are both pirated. What is wrong with this thing? I couldn't tell you why it's this picky, but I know one thing is for certain. I hate these fuckers. I need a properly functioning PS2. For the time being, these systems could be seen nothing more than spares. A few months back, my buddy asked me if he could borrow one of my PS2s to play Persona 4, so it's not like these things are going to be total waste. That buddy's name was Jerry, by the way. I'm not the only one guilty of having a crapload of unnecessary stuff. My homie Martin has bought an unhealthy amount of games on Steam, my buddy Will has about 5 gaming keyboards, my man Eric has his costume of Batista from Under Night In-Birth. That was around $200. People like to buy stupid shit, that's just how the world works. But sometimes people need all this stupid shit. You look at fighting game tournaments, for example. Realistically, no single person needs 20 PS4s and 20 copies of Tekken 7. But for a fighting game tournament where you have hundreds of players coming in, 20 setups. You are not running this tournament with 20 setups. You are not feeding all of Zimbabwe with 20 bowls of spaghetti. Sometimes tournament organizers ask other people to bring their own setups to mitigate their cost, or if they can't find the equipment in general, especially if it's an old game that requires CRTs. And it's totally not why I have all these bastards. You guys get the point by now. I have a lot of shit.
People buying unnecessary crap has always been a staple of life. It's why I call it the dark side. It's that side of you that chooses to buy a bunch of stupid shit you don't need. But who's one to judge? Who's one to say that you can't spend your money on stuff you want? New iPhone, new gaming PC, brand new Curry G Money 5000s that you're never gonna wear, but it comes with built-in penis sucking. The point is, go crazy with your money. Who cares what others think? Clearly not old white people during this point in time. And you know something? I was one step ahead of all of them. Now if you'll excuse me.
This ain't a milli rock, this a money dance, and my dick ain't hard, that's a 30 in my pants. I got 30 of them bands, I'ma make a stripper dance, and I'ma fuck a nigga bitch, cause he nerdy, she a fan. The molly either white or it's yellow like some sand. If you need it, hit my line, no, I got it on a man. I see cotton.
We are currently at 2.3 million. We're fucked, aren't we? Too cool for
Behind
the
the
camera.
scenes,
Too cool for the
look,
camera.
it's your boy,
No, it's not.
DJ Martin.
It's not Martin.
We're gonna,
Martin's gone.
look at this man.
What?
This guy
No.
thinks he's a YouTuber.
Bro, see all this
Fucking-
drip? Put that shit on.
Wasted
no.
a whole roll of toilet paper.
This is what's
For
left
the
of it.
video.
It's worth it. It was worth it. I did the funny thing that people would like me.
Nope.
Yes.
Here.
Alright.
Was it worth it?
It was worth it. It was worth it.